Hey guys, it's Joy with the Art of Acceptance, and I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I'm pretty darn excited about right now. So, I wrote a book. I wrote a book, y'all. It's Letters to My Sons, and when I say I wrote a book, it's I had an idea for a book, and I reached out to several people within my family and friends in church, that sort of thing, and had a bunch of contributors to the book and that I really appreciated. So basically what happened is one Sunday we were at church and our pastor, he's written a book. He wrote a book in 3 days, y'all. And he was telling us that he wrote the book, his particular book, for his children. And he also wrote it for his family. So we are his church family. We're his spiritual family. So he wrote it for us too. But he has 5 boys, and he really wrote it for his boys. Well, in that, kind of a caveat, he says, I think everybody should write a book, if nothing else, for their children or their family. So he wrote this book in 3 days. It is called Beyond Success, 7 Secrets to Success, by Todd Williams, and you can get this on his website, and that's wisdomforbeyond.com, which is right there on my resources. But he wrote this in 3 days, again, for his sons. So when he made that comment about, I think everybody should write a book, if nothing else, for their children or their family, I immediately had this idea implanted in my head that I just could not get rid of, y'all. I could not shake it. So my initial idea, the initial thing was, hey, Elijah's graduating soon. That's my oldest son, graduating high school. Why don't you get some people to write some letters to him of advice, encouragement, memories of him or the family, that sort of thing. So that was implanted. By the time I got home, and it was constant throughout that, it had grown to, okay, Pastor Todd said, for your children, not your child. So I was like, I got 2 other kids. So I was like, well, I could get people to write letters for all the boys if they wanted to. It doesn't have to be just for Elijah. It can be, if that's what they want to do. It can totally be just for Elijah. It can be for all the boys. It can be anything they want. And I came home and immediately started sending out emails to people, texting people, just, hey, would you be willing to do this for me and get me a letter in like a month, that sort of thing. And then I'll compile all the information, combine it, and I wanted it bound, and so I got an actual book. It's published, Barnes & Noble's Press. It is so neat. And it's funny because I did put a section in here about their random Facebook post. So if you're my friend on Facebook, you know that section might be a little weird. I also put some things about advice from your mom in here, and I did find that section kind of interesting in the sense of I've known my purpose for a while. We did that exercise at church that our Pastor Todd, had us do an exercise to get our purpose down to one word. Mine's acceptance. And of course, I think there's an art to acceptance. I think there's a skill to it that takes practice. Well, when I was putting this together, I knew my purpose, but I didn't have this website. I knew my purpose, but it's not something I always visually see or feel like I'm always walking in, I guess, or that I'm always aware that I'm walking in it. So sometimes I guess I'm unaware if I'm walking in it, because it's not something I'm just thinking about 100% of the time. Well, when I was reading through the book, when I got it back, I just want to read a couple things that I wrote as advice from your mom. Accept others that are different from you. Be the person who talks to the person no one else is talking to. And if you watch the vlogs with my children, I believe it was Salem, or maybe it was Asa. But anyway, talking about that's something I've taught them. I also put love people even when they are unlovable. That's part of acceptance. Part of acceptance, and I always tell my boys, acceptance is like an umbrella. So acceptance is one word. The art of acceptance has a lot. There's a skill to acceptance, and part of that is loving the unlovable, accepting the unacceptable when it comes to people. I also say, love your family. As you grow, lives will change. Put differences to the side. Sometimes people can't do that, can they? And I just find it very interesting because it was kind of exciting to see my purpose in writing. That when I was writing these things, I wasn't thinking about my purpose. I was writing what I wanted the boys to know. I was writing for them, things that I wanted them to know, advice, just lifelong advice, whether it's biblical, whether it's just in general, how to treat people. And that's what I wanted them to know. And I did get excited that I saw my purpose. I saw it. And part of our purpose, Pastor Todd says this, is not acceptance. It's not for me. It's for everybody else. So if I only touch these 3 kids with my purpose, then I have done my job, because that's 3 more people in this world that can love the unlovable and accept the unacceptable in people. And believe me, I don't mean agreeing with the unagreeable. I mean accepting the person. Maybe not accepting their behavior, but accepting the person and loving the person anyway. And so it just made me very excited that I got this. I got it in time for Elijah's graduation. And the boys loved it. Absolutely. Especially the 2 little ones. They really loved it. But Elijah here, the big one, he's been reading it too. So he really appreciated everybody that contributed, all of the family and friends that took the time to contribute. I know there were some that wanted to and just did not have time. Believe me, I understand, and it's okay, because I had a lot of letters that turned into like 92 pages. So it was a big project. This was a huge project for me, and I just thank everybody that participated in sending letters, my friends that were encouraging me from the sidelines that thought it was a really neat idea, and they really encouraged me, and those that even helped by just helping me with the time management to get it done. So I really appreciate everyone that stood by me to get this done. It's not for sale. It's not going to make me famous, nothing like that. But just so excited to have this for my kids. Just, you wouldn't believe how excited I am, but I really am. I know I might be a nerd with that, but man, I've had so many people say to me, you should write a book. Well, y'all, I did. Y'all have a good night.